since 2009, and that was at the height of the global financial crisis. But the changes are not in effect as yet. Cabinet said all other administrative issues affecting the relevant departments will be resolved through inter-departmental engagements without compromising the safety of children travelling to and from the country. Now, to talk to us about the implications of the new regulations, well, we're fortunate to be joined by the CEO of South African Tourism, the agency that oversees all travel in and out of South Africa, Mr. Thulani Nzima. Very good morning to you, Thulani. Thanks for joining us here today. Your reaction to the amendments and all that has gone before.
Good morning, and thank you very much for giving us the opportunity. Our action is one of joy, is one of happiness, is one of celebration, is one of great relief, because you will remember that at the beginning of the year, there was a lot of talk about the unintended consequences of these new regulations. But I think it sends a very clear message that working together, the various government departments, they can actually achieve a very coherent and holistic result, which will not have an unintended or negative impact on the other one. From a tourism point of view, we have always said that this industry is very resilient, and it has shown its ability to bounce back time and time again. We always encouraged the industry to continue to invest with confidence, because these too shall come to pass.
Now, just give us a quick, with the changes that are coming into effect, your outlook for a bumper a season, or festive season as it were. Is that your expectation for this year, that the magic tap is going to be turned on again?
Not at all. Let's understand the psyche of international travel and how, as a long-haul destination, things are going to operate. People don't book short-term. South Africa is a destination that is sold largely on a brochure basis. In other words, people print a brochure for the next 6 months and then go and issue another one for the next 6 months. It is not a very impulsive destination where people can wake up in the morning and say, wow, the immigration regulations have changed in South Africa. Let's pack our bags and we go to South Africa tomorrow. There's also another process that needs to follow. In the intervening period, people have been looking at the different destinations. So they are locked into other destinations for now until at least the next year. So if we're going to see a turn, it's going to come a little bit late, but we have actually exposed ourselves as a country to certain risks. And one such top risk is the fact that we have now allowed those that were loyal to South Africa to go and sample other destinations. So it will be very interesting to see how many of them will immediately say, in fact, they don't want to go to those destinations. South Africa is open again. So there is going to be a process. And the damage that happened in the past few months when we were all heckling about the new immigration regulations and the impact of the social media when people were talking about this is quite long, and it's going to be lingering and with us for quite a long time.
Have you managed to crunch the numbers around this and maybe come up with a percentage point or how much it's affected us?
Well, I can only talk about the historical numbers. Historically, for the first 6 months of the year, we are just under 10% decline compared to the previous year. I'm not going to say all of these are attributed to the new immigration regulations. There are a variety of issues that have happened that have impacted on this. Certainly, the new immigration regulations has had its impact, but what is the magnitude of that? I don't know. The Ebola scare that we had has had its contribution. To what extent? So if you aggregate the Ebola, you look at the immigration regulations, and you look at the global economies still being soft, and our own economy not performing very well.
The world's going through another tough little patch the last few months, and it's going to last for about another year.
Indeed, but all I'm saying, Eben, is that I don't want to sit here and attribute the decline in tourism solely to the new immigration regulations. All I would say is it has had its contribution.
What's the lesson we must take out of this?
I think working together, not working in silos. Each time a government department comes out with a regulation of any sort, it would be wise that they test it sufficiently to see if it may have some impact in another unit. And for us as tourism, we depend a lot more, and we're going to continue to work very closely with the Department of Home Affairs. The immigration regulations definitely do impact on us.
What's your message to all our African viewers that are out there watching this telecast right now that are thinking maybe of coming to South Africa at the last minute?
I would say the immigration regulations was not targeted at any particular segment of society or particular continent. South Africa is open for business. Pack your bags. It's a holiday season, and here in Johannesburg, where you and I live, the facilities will be open because a lot of South Africans will go out of Johannesburg into other areas. So this is the time for visitors to come to South Africa, and we welcome them.
Well, Thulani, thank you very much for joining us. That's the CEO of South African Tourism. Of course, we're talking about the effect of visa regulations here in South Africa. You saw Philip, he's standing by there with an weather up.